Hello, everyone. Welcome, JD, in the house of Grow with Jan. We bring people, great people we don't even meet yet directly, but we can connect because of their stories, because of their contribution, because of what they have been doing in personal leadership, entrepreneurship development. And today we have a friend from my dear country, India, JD. So JD, come on in and share with us what are you going to bring to our conversation today so we can grow together.
Jen, thank you. And first of all, thank you for having me over. It's such a pleasure. And although I've never got an opportunity to visit Vietnam, I look forward to being in your country very, very soon. Thank you. So I guess we're going to talk about leadership transformation for driving growth and scalability. Maybe we can talk a little bit about what you would want me to focus on, and then I could start talking about how leaders can transform themselves to grow and scale their businesses.
Yeah, so today we had a topic at the beginning which related to business sense, the scale of business, right? And then I had a discussion with the team and asked JD to really focus on the inner transformation. So what was that version of you when you was younger that you could call yourself as a leader, and how did it transform until now?
Well, I mean, as they say, Jen, hindsight wisdom is always 2020. When you look back and connect the dots, it seems that everything fell into place. But when I was far younger in my career journey, I kind of looked at a few role models and tried to imbibe all the good qualities and shape my thought process and my thinking in that direction. Some of the things that I picked up on the way really helped. Some came through the experiences of others, and some came through my own experiences. And I think I'm a summation of what I picked up from some of my role models and the experiences I've had on my own.
I really like to jump in and make it a bit like deeper on this point where you talk about role models, because maybe some of our friends here also refer to some people that they probably learn from. I remember there was an exercise of a friend like around your age in the UK, and she asked us to write down the role models and then choose the qualities of these people. And it turned out even there were same people, but different participants would write like different things. So she would conclude that it means that there are the qualities inside you that are triggered by the qualities of the leader. So you have this within you. So I really like to learn how that you connect and relate your leadership to the role models based on the qualities or based on the habits, or what was that? Yeah.
I think, Jen, it's a combination of both qualities and habit, and also how they conducted themselves during tough situations. And over the course of last 25 years, we've seen tough situations in the business, in the economy, in the global economy. And when you look at leaders, how they navigated the business through those situations, you kind of pick up those learnings. There is also a condition of watching them do things in a repetitive manner. That's when you try and pick up some of their habits. And qualities is something that they exhibit when they interact with you one-on-one. So I think it's a combination of all three. One thing, Jen, that helped me a lot is to look at how you can be ready for the next level. And having a little bit of spatial awareness and observation for the role and the level that you aspire to be. You look at who's holding that position, how did they get to that point, what was their journey, What is it that you can pick up from there? Can you replicate some of that in your own environment? And more importantly, ask them for guidance and coaching as to how do you recommend you get to that point. And I've been very lucky to have quite a few mentors along the way who've given me these inputs. And so, yeah, that's how you pick up the qualities and the habits and the experiences.
So the qualities and the habits and how did they behave in certain situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. How did you find your very first role models? How could you at that time say, oh, I need role models and let's go and find it? Because I know there's people here or somebody out there, they just say that even I don't really understand myself well yet. How could I know that these role models could really trigger my core values? So
So I
what
think
was that process?
sure. I mean, that's a great question. I think it's the other way around. When someone becomes a source of inspiration, maybe for one small action or a series of actions, that's what makes the person a role model. And it's not necessarily, Jen, that you look at one person and try and replicate 100% of that. I mean, you don't have to do that. Everyone around you is a role model.
Oh.
For things that they do very well, for things that inspire you. And I mean, when I first heard about that, you learn from everyone, it sounded very theoretical to me. But as you gain experience and as you move along in life, you recognize that actually true. You can pick up a lot of characteristics and qualities from people around you, people who are far younger to you, who may have lesser experience than you, or who may not be in the same environment as you. But I mean, there's a little bit to pick up from everyone.
As you said, like we had the chance to learn from everyone. And if a person who's not yet really strong in knowing their core values, and if they are in the between of a lot of different people, right? How could you recommend them, and what was that process for you? How did you really choose who to listen to and who to really be your role model in that situation? And then change to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one to answer. I don't think you go hunting for role models and mentors. If you keep networking with people and people who are willing to engage with you, people who reach out, they are the ones who end up becoming people who kind of help you navigate a lot of things. Of course, through the interactions, you realize that is it truly to help you, or is it just to kind of influence you? And that's one awareness that you need to have. I mean, you'll get a lot of free advice, but is the advice to influence, or is the advice to truly help you? Is that one distinction you will need to draw for yourself.
So what was that very big transformation that you had for yourself that came from your observation, combining learning from other people?
So I think I'll share a collection of those with you, which I've gathered over a period of time. One is to continuously reinvent yourself. That's extremely important for any kind of transformation. And I think we had a couple of minutes of chat before we got onto this call. And that's something that helps you transform the outside as well. So reinvention is very important. Having a little bit of risk intelligence is also important. You should know what kind of risks you're taking, what are the outcomes that you will get. I'm not talking about just risk appetite. Risk appetite is, I mean, everyone has a risk appetite, but you need to think the risk through completely. Figure out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what are the consequences, what are the outcomes. Have that risk intelligence per se. Third would be to have a lot of resilience. There will be setbacks. There will be downturns, there will be low points, but to develop that resilience is extremely important, Jen. More importantly, being resourceful, networking with people, connecting, developing relationships, that's going to help you in a long way. When someone reaches out to you, feel free to engage. You also need to develop some mechanics to kind of forge conversations, and those conversations lead to relationships. That's how you build that. And ultimately, it's all about creating a path for yourself and not necessarily just trying to mimic others.
How did you reinvent yourself? Because this one seems to be very sexy, and we often talk about it. How did you find a way to reinvent yourself?
So, Jen, reinvention comes via three mechanisms. One, you try to innovate yourself by saying that, hey, I mean, I've been doing this, let me try and do something new. Second is the conditions around you change. And you need to adapt to the environment or the industry or the economy, and you kind of conditions force you to change. And third, and the most important, which is the least favorable but the most impactful, is failure. When you fail and you reflect as to what happened, you figure out that, okay, I need to change this. So these three things help you reinvent. The tools to reinvent yourself are you upskill, reskill, go back to school once in every while, try and pick on new challenges, seek mentorship. Those are mechanisms by which you can get the tools to reinvent yourself. But look at 3 trigger points that help you reinvent.
Wow, beautiful. So everything is seems like you had a mechanism. So I love the part about embrace the failure. The bigger the failures, maybe the better chances to really like reinvent or upgrade ourselves. When is the time that we should really look at this is a time to upgrade, this is a time to reinvent? As you said like before, that we had to really continuing even upgrading our role models, or let's say changing our role models because we have a different stages in our life, or our businesses also change, right?
I mean, there's no clockwork or a timetable for that. When you want to reskill yourself, you do that once every few years. So, for example, you completed your higher education. After a few years, you go for a master's program. A few years later, you go for an executive program, and then keep going back to the academia. And I've been doing that myself, and I found that very refreshing, rejuvenating. You get a lot of ideas, you create new networks. For point in time trends and changing situations, there are a lot of resources available around you. And Jen, you've built a fantastic resource network for your community who can lean in on this expert network and learn about how people have done things, and you learn from others. So just go out and use those resources to pick new skills, new certificates. So learning is one important tool. Second is networking and exchange of ideas.
Okay, lovely. Yeah, it's still like everything you had the kind of condensed framework behind it, and continue on your journey, right? You started learning from the role models, and you combine different elements of their mindset, their habits, their ways of thinking or dealing with situation, and then continue reinventing yourself either through different frameworks or through different platforms. And we know that like there's some people when they work in their business or other business, there will be the change in their business. especially today we have the subtopic which is scale business, right? And I remember a story that one of my friends consulted a business, and the business didn't grow for years. And then he listed 16 things to make the business not grow and gave it to the CEO. And the CEO did everything but didn't work. And the last thing was like remove his role as a CEO. And then when he changed it, the business tripled. So I think like there will be cases where people could transform or could be fit with the role as a leader if they transform, if they have values or core values aligned with that, but then the cases maybe not needed. So how could a person in a business, when the business scale, he or she can kind of really know what he or she should transform themselves or maybe transform to be not the CEO?
Well, Jim, that's actually a very, very difficult call to make.
Oh.
And I can say this with personal first-hand experience, and also by seeing a lot of close community around me.
Mm-hmm.
You can take your business, your role to a particular level, and it's very difficult to gauge when either you've outgrown or you've given everything that you have to the role, and therefore you need to make way for someone else to kind of come in. I mean, Marshall Goldsmith put a book out there saying, "What got you here will not get you there."
Yeah.
Reflecting on whether you have exhausted your value,
Yeah.
or you need to kind of change things. It's the most difficult thing that one person can do. And that's when you realize that you need to surround yourself with people whom you can trust, who can give you the right advice. Clearly, there are indicators, Jen, that come about. The business starts to stagnate on revenue or on profits or on scale or market. I mean, clearly stagnation is one big marker. Second, when nothing new is happening. So you get those indications from the business that things are not moving as fast as, or as, the scale that you experienced earlier. That's when you lean on your trusted network and you listen to their advice wholeheartedly without taking it personally. And those are the moments when you know that you need to step aside from your role, or you need to bring someone else in to handle the situation.
How many times that you transform to have different stages of grow your business or scale your business?
Sorry, I'm not sure if I quite follow that question.
So you talked about your business. Today the topic is scale it,
Right.
and how many times that you felt that you transformed to really make it happen, scaling your business?
Oh, plenty of times. You keep looking at the model that's working for you. If you know that there is a potential in the market and you're unable to realize that potential, it's time for a version 2, and then version 3, and then version 4. With TeamLease Edtech, there is one particular initiative that we've been working on for a few years now, and we are extremely bullish about the market potential. And each time we want to grow, we are reinventing the business model, and the next year is always better than the previous year. So we keep tweaking that, and it's important to take a step back, reflect upon what you could deliver, what you could not deliver, what could you change. Like they say, probably started with the conversation that hindsight wisdom is 2020. You must reflect on that.
What about your team? How did you have them to transform to? How did you prepare them?
One of the things that TeamLease Edtech is, we have the best team that one can dream for. Everyone is so passionate, committed about their roles. They are not just limited to thinking about what they do, but at the organization at large. And that creates a lot of positive environment. You don't have a kind of rigid hierarchy. Everyone's connected with everyone. It's a boundaryless organization. And that's an energy multiplier. I mean, each day when you leave work, you're excited to come back the next day because you know there is so much more to accomplish. But to answer your question, Jen, specifically, how do you get your team to reinvent themselves? I mean, just keep pushing them. Sometimes not against the wall, but sometimes through the wall, and their permission. Tell them that, hey, I mean, this is what is expected of you. You have the potential. Let's do something. You also encourage them to pick up new skills, new programs, go for higher education, throw them in challenging situations which they've not handled before, whether it be a scale or a new market. And that's how they discover that they can really deliver stuff. I guess the levers of reinvention are the same. You just kind of tweak them to the environment.
How can we keep that boundaryless and connectivity between people when the team get like bigger and the business scales? And your leadership gonna transform or the same?
So Jen, a leader needs to have multiple styles of leadership. You should know when you want to go democratic. You should know when you want to be consultative. When do you want to be prescriptive based on different situations? That's situational leadership. But to answer your question about how do you keep the bond and the networking with the team, I think that goes to what is the culture you've established within the organization. Can you just walk around, network with anyone, or are you kind of creating silos within the organization? Those are things that when you're mindful about during the early days of the organization, and you create what I like to call is a boundaryless organization where anyone can network with. Of course, there are structures and processes and policies that one have to follow once you grow, but it shouldn't inhibit anyone from networking, talking, exchange of ideas, getting work done. So in the initial days, if you establish that culture, it'll serve you well for a long time to come.
Lovely. How can a person here who listening is to it right now, they know, or they can really like think that whether they need to scale the business or not? How can they know what is important for them? Because sometimes we don't need to scale business, I think, because we have the concept small but beautiful, right? But it's more about like knowing what we really want. So if not scaling a business, then what is the other option?
Well, it's a counterintuitive question because I've always been in growth businesses and carry a growth mindset. But I guess if it's a lifestyle business for you, where you want to run the business for a specific objective without having to worry about large scaling issues or other challenges that come with growth, then you may want to keep the business capped at a particular level. But even for those businesses, I would encourage that if you have developed a formula for creating a business at a particular scale and you don't want to take it, you must share that formula with others so that if someone wants to replicate that in their market or in their community, they have an opportunity to learn from you because you've decided not to scale beyond a point, but the formula is replicable. So feel free to share it with others. I mean, that's the best thing you can do.
Wow, beautiful. I love that. Yeah. And today we also had a conversation. So what is one good thing about us when we live? And I remember the movie talking about passing on what we do, passing on what we learn, and that's how we continue evolve. And I think that's how we continue develop together. So thank you today. I think we touched on a very let's say foundation level only, and we're gonna get to know more each other. I have normally the takeaway part where I would ask our invited speaker to share some very short ways to help people to just condense what they learn, and then maybe have resources to practice. So it's gonna be kind of like some questions, a short answer. So I start off with the very first experience that made you have new way of thinking about your life.
This was when I started my career and I started to work with a lot of professionals. I realized that there is a very different world out there from what you would see in your graduation days. And that gave me a lot of motivation and inspiration to broaden my aspirations and my ambitions.
Oh, yeah. So the takeaway is to really look at somebody and may learn from what else, to look at the world, and maybe we can expand our way of thinking and also the dream, think bigger. And the second one, what was the belief that you you kept for long and then you realize that was no longer serving you?
Yes, you have a lot of those moments. But I guess, Jen, that's what I was telling you earlier on, that you learn from your own experiences as well, apart from others' experiences. One of the things that, and this was something that I witnessed, I saw that someone who held a position of great status and stature had all the attention when they were in that position. And when they stepped down from that position, all of the networks and the commitments and the buzz around them started to disappear very, very quickly. And that was one big revelation. And I mean, of course, you know that things do change, but that was when you saw it firsthand, it gave you a kind of a big signal in your mind that this is what you must be careful for when you go ahead and make progress.
Lovely. So keep reflecting on what we believe, and maybe that is also something that hinder what we do and what we want to go next. So the next one, what was the name of the very role model that influenced or that shaped your leadership?
Oh, Jen, there have been several, and I'm very thankful to a lot of good people who've kind of influenced me. I'd like to tell you that from good managers, you learn how to do things, and from bad managers, you learn how not to do things.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people start their new businesses because of bad leaders. Bad leaders. For my study, the number of people start their businesses because of, let's say, people who gave them the negative emotion, like more than the people who gave them the positive emotion.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so thanks to all of the people who shaped you. And the very one book that you recommend us to read?
Oh, plenty. But I think I mentioned one book on this talk, which is relevant to this. What got you here will not get you there. That's a very nice one. Please do read it and apply it in your context.
Yeah. If you write one book about your life in the coming years before you leave this planet, what would be that title?
So, Jen, I mean, I'm quite a few miles away from that, but but having been asked this question once before, I would like to give you the same answer. I'll first say it out in Hindi, which will make even more sense, but I'll translate it for our English-speaking audience as well. It's picture abhi baki hai mere dost. What that literally means is there is a little bit of movie and action left in. So that would be the title of the book. So there's more coming.
There's more coming.
Yeah.
Wow. That's like very inviting. So that also, I think, very nice to end our today little discussion. There more gonna come. There's more coming. Yeah, like this is only the teaser for the conversation, and thank you for having us with you today. And I think you're very comprehensive, practical, and experienced, and all the knowledge that you have condensed together. And you have any upcoming things that we can follow and we can learn and maybe find a way to continue our conversation today, like an event or
most certainly, there are two big things that I'm focusing on right now. Of course, there's this wave of artificial intelligence that's capturing everyone's imagination. And I'm a big advocate of embracing AI for good. Where there are certain things that you need to be careful about, but I think it can help transform everyone's career, businesses. So that's one thing that we can focus on. And the other is we are working on a new event, which we are yet to release. It should be out within a week or 10 days, but do follow TeamLease Edtech on LinkedIn, and you learn about that. It's going to be a global event. So hope to see you, Jen, and others also on that one.
Thank you. So looking forward to that. The event is very like practical and specific, that we can get more information through your LinkedIn with the same name. And then we also can update on what you have going to do with the very updated and edge technology. So really helps us to transform from within and make the impact in a bigger and sustainable way. So thank you for today. And if you come to Vietnam, what would be the first place you want to visit us?
Your studio, Jen.
Thank you. That's a good one. And I like to see the place that you're sitting right now also. And I can see some God behind you. So thank you for your energy today. And thank you everyone for joining us. It's a short discussion, but it is to emphasize on the very stillness from the energy that JD has given us, and looking at from what we can change from inside to really make the change from outside. And we look forward to having you in the next one. Stay great until then.